Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. This is yours truly, Cultureshock. This is a breaking news report. Before we get and drop our week preview against the Los Angeles Rams, just want to give you a brief update on the injuries. As of right now, Kenny Moore II, as you may have seen prior to last week's game against the Tennessee Titans, after he caught the pick six, a few plays down and drive later on in the game, he wound up going down with an injury. Now, of course, it was reported as a calf injury at first, but going through later on in the injury, they said it was an Achilles area, around the Achilles area. That's more than just a calf. Of course, they said it was not an actual tear. They said it was strained or something like that. But it's going to put him on the sideline for a few weeks, which is like 4 games. So the concern is high, but it's not going to be season ending. This injury has a lot to do with his cuts, his agility, his burst, and him playing the nickel has a lot. That injury is a big deal. So it's going to put him out on the sideline for a few games, and that made the Colts make a roster move immediately. So they wind up signing Mike Hilton. Look like he's going to be added to the squad, and of course, he has some familiarity with Lou Anarumo already. So it should make him easily transition into the roster spot and to the defense. So he pretty much should know the scheme and things of that nature. And he's pretty much familiar with the same role that Kenny Moore has played. So it can boost the defense tremendously. Now, does I think this help the defense? Yes. Does that make them complete? I don't think so, absolutely. The tackling has been poor as of late, and they do need another outside corner. Now, of course, Xavier Howard has hit the injury report, so we don't know what that's going to look like going into next week, and they have a huge test coming up this week. But even if Howard was healthy, I still think the Colts need to make another move at corner. Now, I am comfortable with the safety department. That's not even a question. But the cornerback room is definitely lacking another huge uh, player out there on the outside. Now, of course, there's a few names out there. A few Colts fans mentioned Stephon Gilmore to come back, but there's a lot of corners out there available to go grab. Of course, they're not going to make an immediate impact, um, you know, just due to roster's timing and scheme wise. Lou Anarumo sends a lot of disguises, and with the vets out there in free agency, the speed, even Mike Hilton, their speed is not what they used to be. Mike Hilton's like 5'9", 184. Used to be really fast back in the day, especially in his Pittsburgh years with the Steelers, even with the Bengals. But I would say for him right now, I think he'll be a good piece. I think his help would be tremendous, but will I think he'll be as good as what he used to be? Probably not. But I would say I will take what he has now than what we got available. So I think he'll be a huge boost. I think he'll be a good boost going into the Colts roster spot of what we got. Like I say, he's a good nickel corner, especially in the slot position. He's pretty good on run defense, and he knows the scheme already, so that's pretty much good. Pretty good at seeing the ball as well. But like I said, he's pretty much in the older range when it comes to corners. Like he's 31. So his change of direction and everything, his wear and tear, it's going to be iffy. I would say that, but he's a good tackler and he knows the scheme, and we need a nickel. So I think he'll be a good pickup for Kenny Moore until he returns, and who knows what we might do with him when he comes back. But like I say, he does know the system, so that's a pretty good thing. But I do think the Colts need to go out there and make another move at the corner position because I'm not really sold on the cornerback room as of right now. But besides Travarius Ward, that's the only guy I'm pretty much banging my hat on, making the play. But worst case scenario, if something happens to him, we're pretty much on an island. And he can't guard everybody out there. So the Colts going to have to lock in with the pass rush to give these guys some type of grace because the cornerback room is questionable moving forward. But I do have faith in what Mike Hilton might bring. Um, in Kenny Moore departure. He's not Kenny Moore, but he can go out there and make a play. He's not the fastest guy on the roster room, but I do like the signing because we did need to make a pickup. Now, I wish this would have been done before when he was available when he first came out. Now, of course, the longer you wait, the cheaper the contract. But he was available for a while, so they could have been made this move, and all of this would have been in the back burner. I mean, he could have just been available. And of course, they released Tyler Scott as well. That's another question going into it for the wide receiver room. Tyler Scott was a wide receiver in the practice squad that didn't make it to the roster, but Alec Pierce just went down with injury, so I'm questioning to see what they're going to do with that situation. So the Colts got a lot of questions going into this week before Sunday gets here. They can't wait too long because if not, we're just going to have to go with what we got, which is going to be interesting. So we're going to see what the Colts got, what they're going to do. Like I said, they just got Mike Hilton. He's ready to go per reports. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do with that situation. But you guys let me know your thoughts about Kenny Moore's injury and the rest of the injury report that came out. How confident are you feeling for the Colts going into this week? It's going to be an interesting week. It's going to be tough. But, anything can happen. Anything's possible. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section about the signing of Mike Hilton and Kenny Moore's injury and how concerned are you. Until next time, this is Culture Shock. You guys have a good one.